You're watching the Chaos Protocol on Transplanar RPG, an all-transgender, people of color-led dark fantasy TTRPG show set in an original non-colonial, anti-Orientalist multiverse. If you like what you see, please consider pledging to our Patreon to support the show and get access to a patron-only after-show, early podcast episodes, GM notes, character sheets, and even the chance for your tabletop OC to cameo in our series. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy. The Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. Content warnings for this episode include fantasy violence, grief, mourning, ghosts, complex relationships, interpersonal conflict, surrealism, and discussions of the loss of children. Arc 4, Episode 29. The Thread Shall Break. From Waiting for the Moon to Burn by Connie Chang. The pathway, opened by the drifter through the threads between, is a phantom tunnel where space and time collapse beneath their own gravity. Filaments of argent, sound, effulgent strings that whine and bleed, shivering like a herd of naked sheep in winter's unyielding maw. Color, pitch poles, language, cascades. The arrow of time flays you from the current of the past and flings you back when you came. The tendons of existence avulse. The saintly channel blooms. And then you're here. In the future. In the present. The black hole is closer. Ever closer above your heads. The proportions of the horizon invert. The sky is now 1/3 of it, and oblivion the rest. Sound loosens, sensations lessen, and everything fades just a little bit more. But you're here. You are existing. You have physical form, mostly in a fashion. What do you look like as you land 10 years back into the future? Let's start with you, Seir.
Seir, for the most part, looks like nothing has changed. He was not in the nothing play, not really. He was somewhere else. Some other possibility within possibilities in the threads and weaves of fate. But his defiance of his creator is clear, as soon as Seir lands in a thud, we hear from his cranium the sound of metallic cracking from the base of his antlers, as his cybernetic antlers begin to do what organic antlers do. Velvet and shed. And they do not fall off, but we start to see blood begin to trickle down past the wires of his cranium, down to the side of his ears, past his eyebrow, and the peeling off of the outer shelling of these antlers, exposing wire. Mm-hmm.
We pan across our view from Seir to find you, Lumièra. What do you look like, landing 10 years back into the present?
It's a funny question, narrator. Because Lumièra comes back in phases. When she first touches the future? Yeah. She can't really tell. No. It's still jumbled for her. So when she lands, it's not her physical form, right? Because her physical form was already gone by the time her soul was sucked into nothing. So it's starlight, just briefly glimmering amongst the horizon. You can still, even with oblivion taking up so much of the sky, the starlight is distinct against it. And then you hear water. Not an ocean, not a lake, but more of a puddle. And the puddle itself forms where you can assume is where the starlight of her essence is concentrated at before this water stills and shimmers and reflects and catches light in all these really wildly beautiful ways. And then that puddle starts to change. It turns gold. And then that gold takes a pink hue to it, almost as if it's rose gold. And slowly and surely, her body rises from this puddle, forming slowly from her head all the way down to her boots. And she stands in the middle of it, lacquered in rose gold, as her body tries to reconstitute itself here on this material plane. And then slowly, the color of herself starts to form under the rose gold, almost as if it's dripping off of her, like getting out of a pool or something. And the rose gold sits in the puddle at her feet, and she stands discombobulated, confused, horrified, and tired. And then, like a sponge, that rose gold soaks in from her feet, shimmering up her shins, up throughout her entire body, glowing a bit where you know her tattoo in the middle of her chest sits, before it reaches out to her left arm. And that rose gold starts at her fingertips and stays until it reaches her elbow. She grips her hand, trying to feel herself. Death is so weird. Even in that amount of time where she was not in her physical form, she forgot what it was like to be in a body. So she stands there looking over her hands, trying to settle herself in the now.
Past the gleaming rose gold and the crackling velvet shed, we find you, Xainan. What do you look like 10 years back into the present?
It's like the camera is having a hard time focusing on him. It's blurry? No. He's blurry. But for once, Xainan Esch does not come through in waves. not fractured, all in one. But it is the truth. As he steps through, shaking, looking, he's not even quite looking at the now yet, not because he's looking backwards, but because his eyes, one bright, glowing green and the other still holding just the last echo of molten gold, fades into a quiet, golden amber as we see the consequence, the cost that he gave to stay in the nothing. There is no molten creation emblazoned into Xainan Esch's soul anymore. It is now simply cracks of gold, rehewn, remade. And that gold, the divinity that was in it, a price that he was more than happy to pay to be standing here. We see it holding together pieces of him, now all in one. Kintsugi, the art of remaking with gold. It isn't less because it was broken. It isn't less without the divinity. It is just who he is. And that gold spirals down his face, not hot anymore, but we also see the markings that he wore the day that we left here faded. The green, less vibrant, the sweat, the tears having taken some of it and just not reapplied. And more than that, the skin that it sits on. Xainan Esch's body is at least 60% the dust of Kaseki, reformed. And that blurriness, that tenuous relationship with being solid, never fully reconnects as Xainan Esch, the ghost that hasn't forgotten, that won't forget how to be alive, inhabiting his own body. Part of that also got shaved away, and he is still struggling to rebuild it, and so, like he did in the Wild Sea, but less and less, Xainan Esch just slowly releases dust where he stands.
There is earth beneath all of you, beneath your feet. Cracked, hard, real earth. There is the stink of life in your nostrils, sweat, grime, metal, electricity. To your right, a massive wall looms, blotting out the desiccated wasteland that lies beyond. To your left, a tall, rigid, translucent structure, Samishi Ereber's greenhouse. You are exactly where you were, where you will be, when you first vaulted 10 years into the past. It is dark, not just because of oblivion. It's nighttime, too, a pallid and faded nighttime with none of the neon sheen through the dusty storm that blankets the upper atmosphere. You hear a noise. A familiar noise. A mechanical whirring. You see the blinking of tiny alarms flashing against the window panes of the greenhouse, and you also hear light, frantic footsteps, shadows phasing over dirt, and rounding the corner, one red eye flashing is the Oracle, and behind it, Cai K.
I knew it! I sensed him! Snova!
Xainan, Lumièra, Seir.
We made it. Ah! Fuck.
Cai K runs forward, silver eyes wide, trying to catch you, noticing the blood pooling against your temple, against your shed antlers.
And Seir looks to Lumièra and Xainan for a moment before it sinks in that they're here now where they had vaulted from. And he sees it, the pain, the toll that rests both on Lumièra and Xainan. This was traumatic for all of us. For them, the most, probably. And Seir steels himself a little more, and he will step up. We're back. And so much happened. And he puts a few facts together. Yinghe realized they were gone, of course. Oracle did, of course. But from the way they are reacting, it wasn't just a blip in a moment. They were gone for longer. How long has it been?
Yinghe is right by your side, fingers flitting over your arms, eyes wide with concern, noting the antlers, the blood, and when you speak, their gaze snaps back to your eyes, widening slightly. Days. A week.
Days? Week?
And Zinnia, that is when you arrive on the scene. Only a few footsteps behind the Oracle, behind Yinghe.
You're back.
Zinnia. Yes. They've been through a lot. I can give you the report.
She nods. You mentioned they have been through it. What radiates off of Seir that I see immediately?
He's been brutalized in every sense of the word. His antlers are bleeding. The cybernetic metallic plating is decaying, peeling off of him like velvet off of deer antlers, exposing wiring and blood. You could swear you can see layers of bone beneath it. And he looks exhausted. Like he has been in a fight that lasted for hours, days, a week. But he's standing firm. You see that his eyes keep flitting back towards Lumièra with great concern, and then turns to the other side of his shoulder to look at Xainan. There's a responsibility, a sense of duty that he's trying to take on, even though he feels battered.
Her head tilts, I think, recognizing that there has been a lot that has happened, not just to you, but to all of you. And I think there is maybe a softness that slightly comes across her face. What happened?
We vaulted 10 years to the past. The plan was to find the ship, the Erebor ship, before it got split into parts, while it was still functioning, while it was still whole. And bring it back here. Somehow. And his eyes lingered to Yinghe. A lot unraveled very quickly. And Seir spares no detail. He tells exactly what happened. He doesn't spare any detail. There's no secrecy, there's no dishonesty, there's no way of softening what had happened. He explains exactly to you that they vaulted, lost control of Yinghe, and Yinghe must have left the vaulting process. Explains that Lumièra was injured almost immediately upon entry to the past, and that they did it. They did it. They vaulted to the past. They were there in Keseki 10 years ago. They saw the lodestar setting. They saw the people. They saw Azalis, Zaidan's family. And that, of course, Oblivion came through. Of course, Oblivion followed them. And it was expanding rapidly, quickly. Things unraveled so fast. Lumièra gets folded, turned into, folded in on herself and pulled towards nothing. That he had to keep the door open, that they had to make a choice. And that it cost a lot. Seir also doesn't hide his battle with Doom. My creator, my father, he really wanted to stop me. He spoke like he was a precept. And I did what I tried to do. I tried to keep my tether to Lumièra as hot as possible. I protected it from him. I think he was holding back though. He didn't fight me like he meant it. Not really. But at the end, Xainan helped bring Lumièra back out of that place, and I held the door open for them, and now we're here. And he looks up to the sky. And she's here too.
That is a lot. I'm so glad that all three of you are okay, that you're all alive.
I didn't
can't
think it was
imagine.
days. It felt like moments. It felt like eternity. It felt like...
It's been 8 days, Seir.
Yeah. You want our side of the story of what happened to us?
Please.
I gesture up to Oblivion. Rapidly out of nowhere, got much closer. Everybody panicked for a second. Samishi talked everyone down. We, the Tears I mean, pretty immediately decided that we need to try to find a way to get out of here. And we're standing on the shuttle. So, might as well try to build it back. Didn't necessarily get everything we need from Samishi, but it's something. And we're gonna try to do what we can. We've been sending out writers to try to find anything else, but we're missing that special something. Fusion reactor.
The power supply. The physical pieces of the shuttle Jack is doing a truly amazing job putting it all together, but we need a power supply to escape the atmosphere. Bakun's working on it, though, with Samishi.
Okay. We're battered. We're exhausted, but I'm ready. We're ready. If you... And Seir kind of like looks to Zinnia mostly in this moment. Eyes glazed with guilt, responsibility, actually.
She puts a hand up the second you start offering to help now. Y'all are battered. Rest today. Tomorrow the work will continue. Okay?
Thank you. Yes.
And I think she steps forward, close enough to, I think, whisper. And I need you to talk to Bug. It's the one thing I need you to do today.
I will. I owe them a lot.
Yeah. It's been struggling without you.
And
all right.
Thanks, Zinnia. Yinghe nods gratefully at you. You can see the worry and concern in his eyes as you step away. And Yinghe turns their attention briefly back to you, Seir. Just thank you for doing what you did, holding the gateway open, fending off your father. If it weren't for you, I don't know if any of us would still be here. So thank you.
Yinghe, and there's so much between them right now. Awkwardness, the want and desire from Seir to just pull Yinghe close and collapse. Deep inside him, that's what he wants to do, but they can't. Things are different now. They are friends now. That's what they're working on, trying to fix. But that trust, that honesty, that's always been between them. And as Zinnia walks away and Yinghe approaches Seir and says this, Seir just sputters out, Yinghe, there's something else.
What is
about Doom. He's not a domain, he is a precept. And when I challenged him, I heard her voice. Fate. I know that voice. I only heard it a handful of times in my life. I memorized it. It was her. She told me to save Lumièra. They're connected. I don't know how. I can't fathom it. But they're connected. It feels true even if I don't know how.
Wow.
It was holding back.
Yinghe's
I can't do that
hands,
again.
cold, touch your knuckles. They're still bruised and bleeding from some fight, some time. And they say to you, that's not anything. We have to figure out the beginning, the middle, and the end of right now. But I can tell
You're right.
it's a lot, and just like back in Inferno, when you first told me all of this, it was so hard for me to wrap my mind around the idea of fate as a person at your syndicate, and Doom and fate, your father, your creator, and this what I'd always seen and thought of as a river, as push and pull, gravity, I suppose. The cause and effect of one action leading to a consequence. But whoever they are, whatever they are, you, though you might have been made by Doom in some way, you are not Doom. You're Seir. You are a person. And you get to choose how to walk that path now. Just like I've had to choose how to walk my path ever since getting here. But let's rest. I can tell you are exhausted, and so is Xainan and Lumièra. She's glowing. I can get her to bed. There's a nice, dark, isolated, and private sleeping quarters down the hill. I think that would be good for her, for all of us.
Maybe leave a little light. Just a little.
Understood. Yeah. I'll make sure I do. Lumièra, it's me. And Lumièra, Yinghe approaches you. How are you perceiving the world right now? How is the fatigue and exhaustion weighing on you?
I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
She's not. Her eyes are glazed over, almost like almost like an amphibian's creature has like a second eyelid. Her eyes are glazed over. She can't really determine what is up and what's down, left and right. Her entire body feels like it just has like bags and bags of mixed wet concrete all over. And she's so unsteady when she stands. It's like she's trying to stay in place and keep herself upright, but she still lists back and forth, almost like a ship rocking in the night. Her hands are clenching and unclenching, trying to get used to this again. She hears Yinghe, and her eyes flit in their direction, unfocused on her, but she says nothing. And her eyes just slowly blink, as if they're trying to get reacquainted with light again.
And Lumièra, you are not even sure how you get from the greenhouse to the bed. Your weary eyes blink. Yinghe is beside you, silver gaze gleaming with worry and care, and then you're somewhere dark and cool and peaceful with a sliver of light pouring through, blinds parted slightly. There's a bedroll now, 3 inches from your face, and you collapse. Slumber, sleep, rest takes you. Xainan. While Seir and Yinghe and Zinnia were talking, it's like their voices are there, the words are floating in the spaces between you, but your edges, the sides of you, flaking into dust. Not hemorrhaging it so much, but your seams are now painted gold. There's been a break and a reforging, slivers of divinity holding you together. How are you perceiving the world back in the present now? And how does it drive you to take action?
Xainan has looked backwards for so long. And being here in the present, it's like his head finally turned forward. It just took that one last nudge from saying, permission to walk, when Lumièra said that she would go with him. And here he is now looking forward and painting the periphery. Just the seams and scars of so much grief. Overwhelming grief. Like he is under a pile of sand. Like every piece of dust in all of Kaseki sits on top of him. He feels the wounds that are easier to ignore when he doesn't think about here and now. The shot in his chest, the cuts from the fight with the cave skipper. He feels his body, but the way a ghost does. The pieces, the seams, the memories, the echoes. They still hurt. It's still his body. And when he tries to speak, just like his heartbeat, it is so far away as he tries to find his way back, and all he can hear is it echoing off of surface that he knows the names of. Pira, Doxa, Kaseki. But he can't look back at them anymore, even if he wants to, because above his head, when he thinks about it, is the looming shape of oblivion. And so he looks around, trying to find a handhold, like reaching for a ladder in the dark, trying to pull himself up. And as he does, he lets his feet wander. He sees the beginnings of what he thought was impossible in Samishi's greenhouse. He sees the trimmings of families that he thought would never be here. But he also sees the fear that they have, and it is the pain, it is the shape of those scars yet again. This place is marvelous, and he found so much hope here. But at the bottom of the thing that would consume Kaseki, looming overhead, he still feels the hollow of the nothing. And his feet find his way to look at this world that he loves with eyes that can see it, truly see it. And it is dusty and broken just like him. And the horizon shattered, blurry. The trees dead, cracked, splintered like shocks from a hammer strike over the landscape. And at least here, the sound of Kaseki rhymes with the spirit of Xainan Esch.
Where do your ghostly feet take you? To absorb this new understanding of the landscape around you, to see the scars in your body reflected in the scars across the land. Where do your feet take you?
Even though it was truly terrifying, now that it is settled and quiet, he goes back to look over the place that brought them here. The field where there is a distant sign warning of hazard that he feels like should be emblazoned on his own self. Danger, there are dark things nested here. And he looks over the field of the glasswing butterflies.
On top of the wall, then. Perfect perch. The closest place in this once valley, this once volcanic field, to a lookout tower. Your eyes fixated on that dark structure in the distance, the warning, the omen. And for some time is so funny now that you've left the slipstream of it all. For some time, you sit there and you feel the breeze gusting over your riven skin. Both a physical breeze and a psychic one through the spirit realm, lightly touching the golden cracks of your soul. And then you hear a voice. That's my spot. And it's a statement of fact. And an instant recognition of the pain, the grief that weighs so plainly hangs on you like your hat. It needs no introduction. And Azalis Raid is standing next to you, their shadow falling over your flaking form. And then there is something that you haven't experienced from Azalis in 10 minutes? Years. Openness. Because now, impossibly, Azalis Raid sits down next to you, looking out at that same dark structure.
And I think for the first time since returning, Xainan breathes out. It doesn't feel like he's been holding his breath. He is a ghost, but at the same time, it's like he took in a deep breath in their home and let it out here, beside them. And suddenly, that feeling of resonating in the landscape pales in comparison to the clear note of two songs that are meant to be played near one another, harmonizing. They used to sit and talk and talk and talk and look at the landscape and the sky and the stars. And here, not just because it's Azalis, Xainan realizes he goes looking for armor to protect himself from a sharp jab, that scorpion sting. And he doesn't have any to grab. Obliterated somewhere in the last 8 days. Or maybe by the buffeting of winds from the last few months, or maybe it was fake the whole time. But they're here. They're here. And for the first time since reuniting with them, he can hear them. How is it?
Where were you?
Traveled in time. We traveled in time. We went back about 10 years. I saw her.
And this time, they don't even have to look to your left and to your right to know how it all unfolded, how it ended. And this time, the look in their eye. It's not hard. It's just so sad. And Azalis Raid says, Did she look well? And there is a tear unfolding from the corner of their eye, traveling toward the scarred point of their jaw.
Tears are the first breath of moisture that touches Xainan Esch's reconstituted body. But they are tears that aren't lonely. They're shared. Same tears that Ozal cries. Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Good. It's only right for her to be happy, healthy. She looks happy when I see her, too. Everywhere. All the time.
Xainan, just as Ozal has, takes their word and remembers that long blade of grief that he stepped into in the River Gorge trial. The joy in the pain of seeing her there. And he remembers to look for the ghosts.
And as soon as you do, Xainan, you see her. You don't discover that she's there because she's been there this whole time, Xainan, this entire time. Little legs swinging, a breeze rustling through translucent hair, sitting next to Ozalise, playing with the ends of their Yima scarf. And she sees you looking at her, and she's not surprised, because she's seen you this entire time. She's been with you this entire time. And she offers you a small smile, and it's just like Ozal said, she looks happy. She looks healthy. And Ozal can't see her in the same way that you can. Xainan, no, this is a gift. A gift of a time beyond death, of a sliver of emptiness inside your soul. Ozal cannot see her in the way that you can, but Ozal can feel her too, in the way that matters. They're nodding as the tears are streaming down their face, wordlessly looking out at the dust and the darkness.
With a face covered in tears as he cries away the last of the grief markings that he's worn every day since he left Keseki. The ones that he donned for a world that was dead and for people that were gone beyond his understanding. He cries them away, never to return, because none of that is true. Here is the world. It is in Ozalise's face. It is, yes, the dust in his bones. But it is also his daughter, who has been with her parent, her Amma, this whole time. And all of that loneliness that Xainan Esch has listened to since before you even went to trans. That empty howl of the wind. That rustling that never stopped. It's quiet. Because he has what he needs. Here, the edge of a field full of glasswing butterflies. Even if There is a ford between he and Azalis still. To hear their song, to feel that smile, that wicked, smart, brilliant smile. His family, his home. It's always been here. In the future. In the present. In the place that he didn't look. And he can't find more words for Azal. Because he's simply happy to sit here and offload some of his burdens and share them.
Beyond the wall, you see a spot of color you haven't seen on the surface of Keseki since you crash landed here. White, like clouds, like mist from the city of heaven. And you realize what it is. It is the ghost, not of dust, but of the dirt, of the water droplets that used to be here. An echo, a memory of moisture, and rising up out of it, you see the ghosts of glass-tailed butterflies. Rising in a murmuration, translucent, catching what little light peers through the needle of nothingness. And they flutter around Doxa, and Azalis Raid, and Xainan Esch, and Doxa. And Doxa smiles wide, and she stands up, and she steps up into the sky as though balancing on invisible, unseen platforms. And she's laughing. And she's playing, reaching her hands up toward these departed razor kites. And there is so much memory, so much grief, so much love around her, and you see the truth of it. You're a ghost girl blooming from dust. She has never been alone. Never. The ghosts of everything and everyone who have ever lived and died on Keseki is right beside her. And so are you. If only you turn your eyes toward the present and look.
The ghost just sits, watches his ghost daughter, and smiles.
Azalis Raid speaks. When I left the steading, back then, I did what I told you I was going to do. I found a shuttle, a launch site, some handful of miles, a dozen, maybe two, away from the lodestar. Found it, marked it on a map, turned around, found my way back. Through the dust, through the storms. And when I got back, saw her grave, knew who dug it,
happened to her. Knelt in the dust for a long time. Then I got up and tried to find you. Looked everywhere I could. But I didn't. It's like you weren't there at all. Like you'd never existed. Of course. Piero was gone. Dom was gone. It's just me. So I walked. For days, maybe. I don't know. Months. Walked and walked. I found myself on a shuttle somehow. Going off-world. Then I found him. Dom. My fate brought us back together. Told him about you. Told him about her. He told me about Piera. We tried to make things work. We really did. Or maybe we didn't really. Maybe we didn't really because it was too hard. Hurt too much. Because being next to each other was like tearing those wounds open over and over and over again. I couldn't do it. And then I met Selma. Woman from Tani, just like us. Ain't that funny? Never met her. Till we were both ghosts away from home. Got to talking with Selma. Got to building with Selma. Before we knew it, we were leading some kind of rebellion. Thousands of cells, Xainan. Thousands of cells. Tens of thousands of members. It just kept growing, kept happening. We were stealing from the lords. Breaking shit down, building shit up. Trying to make things better, trying to make things right. That's how we met Zinnia. By chance, really. She was working alone. We just so happened to run into each other. We just so happened to run into each other. On a mission. Had the same target. Some sector lord. Zinnia got him through the head. But I got him through the heart. We figured we ought to recruit her. And I guess she was amenable to that. Eight years, Xainan. 8 years. Did a lot of things off-world. Killed a lot of people. Saved a lot of people. But truth be told, didn't feel a damn thing. Didn't feel any of it. Like I was a dead person walking. There is one thing only, that I could hear. 8 long years. Kaseki calling to me like a lighthouse in the dark. A song I could not refuse. Vengeance. Huta Erebor killed my home, killed her. The one thing I ever wanted. The one thing I ever felt. The one thing that kept me rooted to this place, kept me rooted to her. I begged Selma. Finally, she said yes. So I came back to heed the call, do the mission. Lay our girl to rest, Xainan. Guess that's moot now.
No. No. You survived. There wasn't a body there because I died. And I went. I swear I thought I had died and gone. And he looks up to a void, to the nothing, to where when they laid out on a blanket in the field, there were stars. For so long, there's been dust, and now there is just nothing. And still beyond that, like seeing spots when you come up from being deep in the water for too long, he can see the stars now. Maybe they're razor kite ghosts. Maybe they really can see. And Xainan begins to tell Azalis Raid slowly the unbelievable story of being outside of the journey, of being in trance. He explains from the beginning that he died and that he is now this. And as he points to his body that is still sloughing off dust, it doesn't reconstitute, but it doesn't feel so scary this time. And he doesn't feel so lost looking at it. He doesn't speak of how he might have ties to Zinnia before. He just tells the story of losing another daughter and how it almost broke him. And he will make sure that they say goodbye to theirs.
So, guess you really are a dead man walking. We really aren't so different. Never have been. We've always been
stubborn.
so similar. You can never hide from me, Xainan. Never. But I was the same. I can never hide from you either. That's why it pissed me off so much.
But what you've done is fight for our home. And so that 1,000 other daughters will have a tomorrow.
I guess. You're the man. who just can't die.
And you're the person who just doesn't quit.
I couldn't even if I tried. And I've tried. But I just can't help it.
It ain't in you.
No,
And I love
it's
that
not.
about you. I always have.
Ozzel snaps their gaze to you, full-faced all of a sudden. Eye full of tears. Emotion cracked open. And you see so much in that look. Love. Sadness. Anger. Fear. Hope. Then they say to you,
Xainan Esch, if you're gonna haunt me here, then you better haunt me, fucker. Because you don't get to just up and leave again without a trace, without a word. I can't do that again, I can't. When I saw you back here on Keski, it tore my scars right open, broke me all over again. And it broke me even harder when you were gone again. So if you're gonna haunt me, then haunt me, fucker.
And Xainan takes a moment and listens. The thing he did not do 1,000 times when he was trying to get Ozzel to pay attention to him. He wasn't actually listening to what they were saying. But this is something he can do. I will be there. Because that's the thing about ghosts. And he says, looking past them, to Doxa. They never really leave. But that isn't something I get to choose. I will never leave you, Ozzel's right. And when he says that, it isn't just about love. Not in the romantic sense. It is because a piece of them is forever a piece of him, and a piece of him is forever going to be with them. But more than that, all those years ago, not just for you, for Dom and Pyrrha, for Doxa, I will promise to be moved, to not just cling to the dirt beneath my feet, to listen.
Ozzel's raid releases a breath they've been holding for 8 years.
It's what I need, Xainan. It's what I need.
What I need to. What I've always needed. And there's an apology in the smile, and it will be one of 1,000 apologies to come.
And Ozzel looks back out at the horizon, their eyes through at Doxa and the butterflies playing in the space beyond, in the space within reach. And they say,
Things are pretty bad here right now. To be honest, I don't know if we're going to make it off of this planet. I don't know if we're gonna be so lucky again. But if we're going to die, we're gonna die trying. And before whatever happens here, there are some things we need to settle. Dom came back.
What?
He came with a bunch of people to water, supplies, resources. He's not here in the garden, but his people are. He left to get you. Took an outrider. Made for Haruna. He'll be there. I know he will. So before whatever happens here happens, we need to go get him. Then we need to say goodbye to the study. Bury what needs to be buried. And come back. Help. And try.
There's a lot of work needs doing, it sounds like.
There's always
Part of
a
that.
lot of work needs doing. But we've never shied away from it.
Yeah. But part of that is also taking Kesuke with us. And when he says that, he doesn't quite know what it means all the way, but in it he means to take the ghosts, the stories, the memories, and hold them all as they leave.
Yeah. That's why we're here. The rest of them, I mean. The archive. Wasn't why I came here. But maybe it should have been.
It's funny how fate works.
It sure has a sense of humor. Well, if you're gonna be here, if you're gonna haunt me, if you're gonna move, if you're gonna stay, I guess that's that then.
I'm just gonna sit here a while longer though.
Me too. It's my spot after all.
And we pull to black. We stay on this darkness. This nothingness. There is an emptiness to it, yes. Hollowness, a void, a lack. Where there should be something, anything, everything. But there is also a peace to it. A rest. Salvation. Enlightenment. And it is from this dreamless, empty slumber, the very first memory you have after setting foot in the syndicate, that you wake, Lumièra. And though there is still fatigue, there is still exertion, there is still exhaustion clinging to your soul, the dreamless, empty slumber does center you more than you were when you first came back to the present. You're more aware of your faculties, your thoughts, your body. And when your eyes open, you see a domed ceiling above your head, made of wood, some sort of plasticine material. There is a curtain to your side, slightly parted, letting in a ribbon of light falling across your face. You can hear commotion from the door beyond, people talking. In the near distance, loud noises of what sounds like construction work, drilling and banging. You're alive. You're awake.
I'd rather be asleep. Not just because I'm still tired, but being back, it's so loud. She can hear her heartbeat in her chest. She can hear the blood pumping through her veins. The sound of her breathing rattling her chest. Everything is loud. And I don't know if you know, but traveling through time is very overstimulating. So she has nothing. Just like her first memories at the Syndicate, that was nothing was her first memories. So that sleep and nothing being there, not a thought, dream, anything. She's had enough, so she is silent. I think as she's coming back to herself, everything comes back. Not just the vaulting, but what she did. What she did. You know, it's a lot easy to have smoke for people in situations that you're separate from, you know? But when you have a hand in it, that shit hits different. So she just lays there in absolute silence and the dark. Her eyes stay closed because now nothing is almost comforting. So she just lays there, doesn't move, doesn't make a sound. She just lays still. So she's still trying to tether herself here.
And like the moments after your first memory, one of the happiest days in this young man's life was the day you came to trance. Bright halls. Two curious children peering in on the newest child. large hands peer back drapes as Seir bends low, almost trying to avert his antlers, but Lumièra, you can tell. You can see the dried blood beneath his fingers, some of the peeled up bits of metal plating. This man has been picking at it. Terrible habit.
One she's told you about multiple times.
Doesn't stop him. But in his hand on the other side, he brings in a bowl of rice and grilled vegetables. Bigger, way bigger portion than you would normally eat. As he peers in, he looks at you. Morning.
Uncharacteristically of everything that she's been through, Seir, she smiles. Because while nothing was her first memory, she likes the second one just a little bit more. Because after she first woke up from nothing, her first memory, the second one was staring into pink eyes, staring back at me. So this time when she wakes up from nothing and she sees your piercing blue ones, she grins.
There she
Try.
is.
I feel like I've been hit by a truck. What
You
is that?
probably were.
Probably.
Rice, veggies. Better than the rations we've been having for I don't know how long anymore. And he sits cross-legged. He holds the bowl like close to you while he sits by you. You need help?
Yeah. She admits softly.
You're not gonna eat lying down. It's bad for you. And he helps you up to sit up, and he props whatever bedding and pillows or blankets so that you can sit propped up. And he begins rifling through a bit of cloth, and he unfurls chopsticks, snaps them, and begins mixing up the rice and veggies for you. Did you sleep?
If you can call it that.
What does that mean?
It was just nothing. Void. Empty. Darkness. Nothing.
Like where you were before?
She's been playing with the chopsticks, picking through her food. First she settles it down, the bowl in between her legs. At this point, she's sitting cross-legged. Yeah. It's just like
What
it.
happened?
She puts the bowl to the side of her Seir. She does something she's never done before. She curls into you.
Hey.
Clinging to you almost as if you're literally the only thing that's keeping her grounded here.
Hey. I'm here.
And she takes a shaky breath. And then what comes out of her mouth next the truth. All of it. Starting with being sucked into nothing. What it felt like, what it looked like. And she was there. Sing. I spoke to her. Her voice warbles and wavers. As she admits this, you feel the anxiety pouring off of her body. Her body is tense. You can feel her shaking like she's trying to keep from doing it, but she still can't.
Seir holds you close. Of course he does. Thumb running across your shoulder. He hears you. He is quiet, but you know he is listening. But you feel his body stiffen for a moment when you say sing. When you say you spoke to her. When you say you saw her. Did she speak back?
Yeah.
Was she real?
Yeah. As real as one could be. There. I don't know. She said something. It doesn't make any sense.
What doesn't?
When we leave, we're supposed to go into oblivion.
Yeah. Boy, nothing.
That's not where we were.
Looked like nothing to me. If I knew. And he swallows his words. He thought he knew a lot of things. Then where were you? If not nothing.
Some in between? Singh said that they've seen a couple people come through, but they've never been able to interact with anyone till me.
So
She's been there the whole time.
He's stuck.
That's what she said.
Why? Why?
I don't know. All I know is that I got sucked up, and next thing, let me retake that.
I got sucked up.
Menace! You're a menace!
I'm so hot. Hold on. And not in a good way. Like, I'm actually, like, physically, my temperature is up. Like, I'm sweating.
No.
Okay, hold on. All I know is that I was taken, and everything that I thought I knew, everything the syndicate impressed on us, That's not where I went, and that's not where Sing was. She needs our help. She misses you. She misses you so much. She's been alone up there for months. I don't know what to do. And I'm too scared to do anything else right now.
You're not supposed to do anything else right now. Alright? You have one job right now.
And I fucked it up.
No. And Seir feels a tempest of feelings. Of Sing, of these revelations, her being sucked into nothing ends. Let me take that again!
Lumièra,
You're a menace.
Transplanter RPG is a very serious show.
Such a serious dark fantasy show exploring grief.
Listen, at least you didn't say there's stuff oozing pussy.
Nope.
No.
Sense one, second stranger, real, anyway, I'm sorry. Please,
I'm X-carding that.
I wish y'all could see C in the green room right now.
Yeah,
being
C's just going,
What the fuck?
no translators know the reference. Anyway, please, I'm sorry for derailing.
No,
our own
you're
show.
so good.
Go ahead, pal.
There is a tempest of feelings inside of Seir. About Sing, about her being stuck in nothing, nothing and everything now have to be debated, and that's too much, it feels like, but necessary. He can't think about that right now. He can't center or feel his grief in this moment because there are much larger things that we have to reckon with right now. One of the biggest of it, what he has to talk to you about, Lumièra. The words, the questions that he bit back and swallowed the entire time we were in Keseki. Heck, even longer than that. So many questions. And so he thinks on Sing and holds it in the back of his jaw and unfurls something else. We can't do that again, Lumièra. I don't know how chronology works. I thought I did. I know there's a cost, and he looks pointedly at your arm. I know it can do powerful things. And I know that sometimes it does things that we never expect. Like when you left us that one time here. I don't know how chronology works except the fact that we are forbidden to do it. And that's not good enough. That's not good enough. We were so lucky. And he holds your hand as he's saying this. We're so lucky. I defied doom. And he stopped fighting me and went after the thread. And even then, I think he was holding back. And then your friend, your person, the second set of fangs in the Red River. I don't know who they are, but...
The Drifter?
And now he has a name.
You can see it? Too?
She came to me. She gave me time. That was a fluke. I don't know what brought her to me. I don't know what laws she is working with. It was lucky that I was in the in-between space of the journey, that I could bring violence back, that I could do things that I've never done before. It,
Lumièra looks the smallest you've ever seen her. She just curls further in on herself.
Look, I'm not... And he holds you tighter. I'm not berating you. I'm not blaming you.
I know.
I'm not strong enough to do that again. The next
Neither
time
am
that
I.
happens,
I can't do that
Seir's-
again.
Seir softens. Nods. We are at an understanding, he can tell.
It's I didn't. I knew. I didn't know this. I don't do this without knowing.
I know.
I wanted to help.
I know.
And
I know you do.
I made it worse. And that's on me. And I brought y'all into this, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even been able to get back. And the
It
death
wasn't
of
just-
everyone would have been on me. I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't tell you the rules. And I think part of that was because I knew you would try to stop me. I knew it wasn't the smartest decision, but I did it anyway. And
Mira,
that's on me. No, don't.
I'm not. I won't. I can't take that from you. Just like I can't take back what I did.
Can you promise me something?
What?
She grips your hands, interlacing your fingers with hers. We tell each other the truth. And the whole truth. From this point forward. We can't afford another one of... And she references to around us.
Swear it. And you must trust me enough to let me stop you.
She brings her interlaced hands to her lips, presses a kiss against them. So I'll start now. Rule 1. The longer you stay in the past, the future hasn't happened yet. And the more likely it become that it never will. You have a finite time in the past until your future disappears. Rule 2. The more you change the past, the more the paradox strays from the threads of reality and makes it harder to return from where you came.
The paradox being the vaulting.
More or less.
Okay.
3. You can only travel through space as far as you'd be able to make it in real time. That confused me too. So, essentially, you're only able to show up in a place somewhere that's within a reasonable distance of where you can get to in that amount of time. So, say if I was taking us back 5 minutes, we would only be able to show up in a spot that we would have been able to logically get to in that 5 minutes.
So you could not move between planes unless you had the amount of time necessary to vault.
To move between them, yes. In the physical sense. That's where things get funny. And 4, there's more, and I'm still wrapping my mind around it, but you can't vault into a future that hasn't happened yet. That's why Rule 1 is so dangerous. The longer you stay in the past, the more you change, the more your future. And her fingers kind of refer to it going away.
Lumièra, you see something. In Seir's eyes, something's clicking. And there's a memory. So much had happened that he had cast this throwaway line far, far away until this exact moment. I won't let it happen again. That's what Doom told him. And Seir looks at Lumièra. Doom said something to me when he was trying to stop me.
Hmm?
They said they couldn't let this happen again.
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 Lumièra, as Seir reveals this strange line from Doom, on the heels of you imparting the Drifter's lessons to the Son of Doom. There is a memory of a gut instinct you had, was proven wrong. When the Drifter was telling you these lessons to begin with, when you were first internalizing the rules of vaulting. For you see, and this is the truth of it, the rules of how the journey should work, how powers and magic ought to be, have never truly applied to you, Lumièra. Fate herself had to bind your magic to make it inaccessible to you. Fate herself, no lesser force, could have even attempted to do so, and yet, did you not unbind those threads? Did you not remake them yourself in the Bloody River and tie your soul to Seir? Chronergy, this forbidden magic, is that not a rule of reality as well? And yet, your existence, your calling, your magic by itself breaks that rule. Up until this point, for you, Lumièra, these rules of how time magic should exist, how it should work, they have been mutable for you. You have been able to accomplish things no one else in the Syndicate, in the Wild Sea, in the City of Heaven, in Inferno, on Keseki, perhaps even in the entire journey, aside from maybe the Drifter, has been able to accomplish. So yes, when the Drifter was telling you these rules, and when you rubber banded back to the present, and when you sat on it and thought about it, and even when Xainan asked you with hope and love and grief in his eyes, there was that feeling, that gut instinct in you that had risen. And yes, there was the tempering of logic and reason that you had discarded, had shoved away. But even if you had not, the gut feeling would have remained. The knowledge, the belief in yourself, that you could do what others say could not be done. Bend the rules. Make it work. For Xainan, out of love, for him, for his grief, for Keseki, this beautiful, desiccated planet. And you learned firsthand that these rules cannot be broken. Not even by your hand. This is an insurmountable wall that you crashed into at 1,000,000 light years a minute. And so, as you impart these lessons to Seir, you tell him what you had to learn through trying, through failing, a failure you did not know was possible until you were faced with it. Because you've never been faced with such a wall before in your life. And now, as Seir speaks, saying what Doom said to him, he could not let this happen again. The paradox of it all. There's a crackling of it in the back of your head. But just like what you learned from Sing, in the nothing plane, in the empty, both of you stuck in different ways, by different hands. You because of Seir and the thread that binds you, and her because of course. And yet, there are little paradoxes everywhere. But still, the truth confronts the two of you now. In the lucent dark of this sleeping hut, that both of you are much too powerful to be dishonest with each other again, to let this happen again. For when power explodes from the hands of the Son of Doom, and from the hands of one of the most powerful chronologists the journey has ever known, it is not only themselves and the people they love that feel the consequences, but all the threads of reality. The sounds from outside grow a little bit louder. The banging increases in frequency. You hear whirring and machinery churning and moving. It's time to face the day.
You need to eat. Okay? Then rest. I will do what I need to do.
Can you stay? Just for a bit, please.
And Seir stays a little longer, for a handful of moments longer, before he must be taken.
And the curtain behind you swishes shut, leaving just a sliver of light across Lumièra's face. And we're going to go to break there. Thank you all so much for tuning in so far. We're going to be back in just about 10 minutes. Enjoy the fan art reel. Please take a bio break, grab some water and or juice or caffeine, whatever it is you need. Grab a snack. Enjoy the sponsor reel. And Pisho. See you in 10 minutes. Howdy, Transplay nerds. It is, once again, Sponsor Connie time. Arc 4 is proudly sponsored by Hero Forge, a website where you can design and print your very own custom miniatures. But you already knew that, didn't you? Because the spectacular Hero Forge has sponsored us every single arc so far. We've stuck together through all sorts of exciting updates, like Hero Forge Pro, statuettes, color-printed plastic, premium plastic, but now, it's time. It's time for one of the most exciting Hero Forge updates ever. Custom dice. Hero Forge is now offering 3D printed custom dice, where you can put literally anything into the clear material of the die. Each die is printed in the same layers as the item or character bust inside of it, resulting in a solid, perfectly weighted chunk of math rock. You decide the size, color, and shape of your die, the size and color of the numbers on top, and, of course, what the die contains.
Put a frog in it.
Don't die-lay! Visit bit.ly/transforge to design your very own custom miniature or custom dice today. Hello, Transplay nerds! You know what time it is. Sponsor Connie time. For Arc 4, we're collaborating with the Working Families Party, who are building a multiracial coalition of working class people to make our communities a better place to live for everyone. You might be thinking, why does a political party care about a queer tabletop show? As it turns out, the Working Families Party believes in the power of fandom to effect positive political change in the real world. So do we. As a Transplay nerd, you're no stranger to just how political our show can be and how our stories are never just fiction. In fact, let's take an action together right now by signing a petition by the Working Families Party to break up big media companies. This cause means a lot to us personally, as indie actual play performers fighting censorship, telling authentic stories, and resisting authoritarianism. Go to bit.ly/WFPtrans and add your name to the list. By signing this petition, you will join the Working Families Party's mailing list and receive opportunities to help them organize, educate, and fundraise. So let's build a better future together.